So hi there, this is Tom. Welcome to another update from the Garden Laboratory, and this is week 5 of the Garden Laboratory. So that was 19th of April to the 25th of April. So I'm going to give you an update on this week, what happened, and thanks to my viewers, at least the last video has 14 views, which is amazing. It's gone from 0 to 14. So thank you very much for viewing this video, and to the viewers who have viewed the last video. Okay, so let me give you an update on what happened this week. Yeah, so this week I got completely absorbed in the hen project, and I did clean out the old hen house, which is fine, but then I decided I would make a chicken tractor, and this is something I've seen on YouTube and seen online. So this is basically a movable chicken coop, so that I can allow the hens access to grass, but without allowing them to roam freely around the garden, which before we had hens a couple of years ago, and they became a nuisance because, you know, they became a bit too tame. So you're out there trying to have a barbecue and they're jumping on the table and they're trying to pick your food. So, and also just create a mess around the lawn, etc. So that's a hassle. So we want to get the hens out. We want, free range eggs, I suppose, and give them a chance to graze. So this chicken tractor is the way we're trying to do that. And to give them fresh grazing, we'll be able to move the chicken tractor. So ideally I want to put wheels on this and to be able to move it around easily. So that's the plan. Anyway, so I went down a rabbit hole on this chicken tractor and removed an old dog house. I spent loads of time on that, and then making the chicken pen. So hopefully all this effort is going to pay off in the coming weeks. So that's what I'm hoping. I do plan to get the hens and to try this coop out and to modify the coop as needed. And I just want to maybe, for example, add wheels. And one of the principles of life as a laboratory is that you don't have to be ready to start. So I just want to dive in, get the chickens. Okay, the coop is kind of nearly finished. I'm going to dive in, get the hens this week, and just get going. And hopefully in the coming weeks I'll be able to look back and say, oh yeah, this was great and it was worth all the effort. So on the bee front this week, I was supposed to look at the bees. The weather is nice. You see me here in the t-shirt. But I didn't get a chance because I'd gone down this rabbit hole of the chicken coop, of the chicken tractor. The tomatoes in the polytunnel are doing well. They're really, really growing now. You can see that. And I suppose one of the things I'm trying to do is be careful about opening the doors and giving them plenty of ventilation. Other years I've had problems with, or other times I've tried to grow tomatoes, I've had problems with blight. So I'm trying to allow a free flow of air through the polytunnel, especially during the day when it's hot. So that's one thing I'm trying to do. I have lots of seedlings in the glass house and they're now getting big and they need to be transplanted. So that's something I need to do this coming week. The strawberries I planted last week, they were frigo. They came out of a fridge essentially, and they arrived in a box. I showed you that box. They're essentially all roots and there were no leaves. So now this week the leaves have sprouted, so it's really amazing to see that. And in particular, the ones that I planted, I had 44 strawberry plants put in the glass house, and with the extra heat, those now have really nice leaves and they're really growing well. So it's really interesting to see that, and I'm really happy about that. And I look forward to planting, maybe I'll plant those in the polytunnel inside some compost bags and see how they do and compare them to the ones which are outside. So just in terms of quick updates then, I did plant potatoes mulched under grass, just under grass clippings from the lawn. I don't see them coming up, so this was advice from ChatGPT. Hopefully it didn't give me bad advice. I'm still waiting to see those potatoes coming up. But I'll give you an update on that next week. Okay, so I suppose reflection this week. So sometimes we can have a project like the hen project this week, and I've gone totally, down a rabbit hole, if I can call it that, and just ended up, making this chicken tractor and putting a huge amount of effort and time into it. Let's hope it's going to pay off in the coming weeks. So maybe this is what you have to do sometimes, to slow down, to focus, and to allow yourself to go down a rabbit hole. Let's look back in a couple of weeks' time. Hopefully I'll have the hens and it'll all have paid off. So let's see how I get on. So next week then, for the coming week, I want to finish the chicken tractor and I want to get the hens. Maybe looking at 4 hens, I think, to put in the chicken tractor. And to plant out the seedlings from the glass house. So I have lots of seedlings that have come up, and they really shoot up now at this point. There's a bit of heat. Here we're getting into late April, so there's a bit of heat in the sun, and they need to go out to be planted out. So I have to do that this week. I also have some potatoes that I didn't plant. I probably should have planted them before now, but I'm going to plant them this week. So that's something to do. I do also have to check the bees. As I mentioned before, I'm a beekeeper. I have a lot of experience in that area. I need to check because they could be starting to maybe swarm. Now I'm hoping they're not, because I gave them plenty of wax to draw out. So hopefully that's kept them busy and they haven't started the swarming impulse. But I do need to check urgently the bees, and perhaps tomorrow. And finally, I just want to thank you for watching this video and, holding me to account in a sense, because I know that, okay, if I said I'm going to have chickens, then I better do it if I'm going to post a weekly update. So that's holding me to account. So thank you for watching this video. All right, this is the Garden Laboratory. I'll see you next week for another update.